Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on GMSA at 9. And right now, senators are expected to vote on a massive spending package dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill. The legislation narrowly advanced in the Senate on Saturday night from a key procedural vote.
President Trump was hoping Congress would pass his sweeping legislation by the 4th of July, but that self-imposed deadline may be difficult to meet.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio explains the ins and the outs of the bill.
This morning, the Senate is gearing up for its final debate on President Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill as they race to pass the spending bill by the president's July 4th deadline. The bill includes nearly $4 trillion in tax cuts and would eliminate taxes on tips and overtime pay, spend $150 billion on border security, and raise the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars, while Medicaid and other social safety net programs are being reduced.
Don't forget to tell the folks back home, yeah, I voted to say $1 trillion is nothing, but we still need to kick people off of their health care. That's just too expensive. We still need to close those hospitals. We have to cut costs, and we still have to kick people off SNAP because the debt is out of control.
Senate Republicans who can't afford to lose more than 3 votes to pass the bill are fighting each other over the bill's merits.
It's a big, beautiful bill if you believe in cutting people's taxes, securing the border, having a strong military, and controlling government spending.
So we're adding $2 trillion this year, but they're anticipating, the authors of the bill anticipating adding more than $2 trillion next year. That doesn't sound at all conservative to me, and that's why I'm a no.
After Republican Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky and Thom Tillis of North Carolina said they would oppose the measure, President Donald Trump took to social media on Sunday and threatened Republican senators not to go too crazy, suggesting that they still need to be reelected. And just hours later, Tillis announced he won't be running for re-election. Now, if this bill passes, it still faces an uphill battle in the House. Several House Republicans have expressed opposition to the Senate version of the bill. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Okay, on this Monday, the final day of the month, we go outside, look at live cam, and again, some clouds. Stop me if you've heard this before. Clouds, sun, rain chances, and no triple digits.
No, you know what? This is a pattern we like to be stuck in, I think, at this point. We were thinking it would kind of dry out and get hotter this week. That has not been the case, and there's a couple reasons for that. One being we're getting some good tropical moisture feeding up through here, so that's going to keep rain chances intact. And you look at the authority radar right now, and we've got a couple showers along the coast, mainly east of San Antonio. Not a lot to look at, but once we get some pretty good afternoon heating, I think that the authority radar will start to light up a little bit more, especially south of town, and then those showers will work north towards San Antonio. Let me show you the water vapor imagery, and where you see those darker blue colors, that's good moisture. And so we got a couple of tropical systems, Barry, which has fallen apart, it's just a remnant low, and we got Flossie down there. But that moisture, it's not a direct conduit, but we're seeing some of that feed up into Texas, and that's why we still have some opportunities for some rain, not only today, but next few days. 20% chance by noontime, bump it up to a 30% chance later this afternoon and this evening. High temperatures will be up around 92. Coming up, we'll show you the futurecast and show you what the latest data and computer models are showing. It's coming up in just a couple minutes. Steph?
Thank you, Justin. Well, an early morning apartment fire on the city's west side left several families out of their homes. That fire broke out just after 3:30 this morning at a complex off of Highway 90, not far from Lackland. So the firefighters got there to flames coming from the second floor, and no people that lived there that were hurt. However, 11 people from 6 units are now displaced. Neighbors in that area say as soon as they started smelling that smoke, people rushed outside to start helping out others.
There was a couple people outside already knocking on people's doors and stuff, and we just wanted to get everyone out. I used to work here too, so it's just sad because this is the last thing that an apartment complex like this needs is just a big fire.
One firefighter was taken to the hospital to get checked out and is expected to be okay. Arson investigators are now looking into what sparked that fire. However, they believe it could have been a candle that was left on. All right, here's today's 9 at 9. A small community is left in shock and grieving this morning after at least 2 firefighters are dead after several were shot at in northwest Idaho on Sunday. as they were responding to a brush fire. Now, another person was injured, and authorities say they were all ambushed and the fire was set to lure them in. Nearly 300 first responders from Idaho and Washington rushed to that scene. After hours of the standoff, the suspect was found dead.
The U.S. Justice Department fired at least 3 federal prosecutors who worked on cases against January 6th riot defendants. These are the latest disciplinary actions taken against federal attorneys who brought criminal charges against those who stormed the Capitol in an effort to overturn the 2020 election results. President Trump pardoned about 1,500 people who were convicted in the insurrection, including those who were found guilty of assaulting police officers.
New tariffs may be hitting soon for imports from countries around the world. President Donald Trump says he does not plan to extend the 90-day pause on tariffs that he announced earlier this year. The deadline for the countries to strike deals to avoid the tariffs is July 9th.
The National Atmospheric and Oceanic Administration will stop providing meteorological satellite data today. NOAA says the move involves a defense satellite program that provides the military with crucial environmental information for operations around the world. The tool has been used to help meteorologists monitor and forecast hurricanes.
Well, starting next month, some people will be getting smaller Social Security checks. The Social Security Administration says it overpaid millions of dollars over recent years, and now it's trying to recover those overpayments. The overpayments happen due to miscalculations of people not reporting income changes, so people can request a waiver if they can't repay or if they weren't at fault.
President Trump is hinting at a potential buyer for the social media app TikTok. He says he will disclose who it is in about 2 weeks. The deadline for a TikTok parent company ByteDance to hand over control of TikTok's U.S. operations is now September 17th.
Well, Saturday kicked off the 4th of July holiday period, and it will be a busy one for travel. So AAA says record-setting 72.2 million Americans are expected to travel at least 50 miles from home over the holiday period. It will run through next Sunday, July 6th. So AAA predicts nearly 62 million Americans will be hitting the road, which will also be a new record.
And take a look here, an unexpected moment for Beyonce in Houston on Saturday. The superstar was in the middle of a concert performance at NRG Stadium when a flying car prop malfunctioned. It started to tilt over. The videos on social media showed what appeared to be the car tilting midair as Beyonce stayed strapped into it. She was safely lowered back to the ground.
And have you heard of the term fridge cigarette? So it's a new way of talking about having a Diet Coke while on a work break. So think of it as a traditional smoke break, but with soda. So the term fridge cigarette is now growing in popularity, especially on social media. And that's today's 9 at 9.
I'm a chain smoker, as a matter of fact, because I got, you know me, I got mine right here. And as soon as we go to break,
cheers.
It's...
There you go.
All right.
That's a little break right there.
Smoke them if you got them. Thank you. 9:05, 79 degrees outside. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Let's look out there with TransGuide right now. It was pretty good. The roads were looking good earlier. There's a shot there of I-37. Things looking good over there. I didn't see any problems right now on the TxDOT website, but we will keep you posted throughout the news.
Okay, very good. Well, it's been a few years since the 2020 pandemic, and during that time, a lot of us use our screens more than usual. After the break, what researchers are saying about how that did more harm than good for our eyes.
Well, welcome back. It's 9:09, almost 9:10. Well, screen time soared during the COVID-19 pandemic, leading to researchers to question whether this may have changed the shape of some children's eyes.
So now a look into how extended screen time did leave potentially some long-term effects.
Screens have been widely available to children for a long time, but during pandemic lockdowns, kids spent even more time than ever, glued to their screens, attending online classes, doing schoolwork, and more. Researchers in Hong Kong suggest that all that extended screen use may be behind an increase in astigmatism, a condition where the eye has an unusual curve. They noticed that both the number of children with astigmatism and the severity of the condition increased. Normally, the eye is shaped like a circle, but with astigmatism, the front part of the eye curves into an oval shape. This can lead to blurry vision, eye strain, and poor night vision. The researchers caution that we can't yet say if increased screen time is to blame for the rise in eye shape changes. They'd like to see more studies to better understand the problem. Currently, there's no way to prevent astigmatism in childhood, so it's important for kids to have regular eye exams. With this Medical Minute, I'm Olivia Rubin.
Well, Some things you can do to limit that screen time include taking a walk outside, setting your phone or tablet down somewhere where you would usually place it, and enjoying some time away from the screen by visiting a friend or engaging in hobbies.
Another good tip, try putting your devices on Do Not Disturb if you have that option. So I mean, I do that at night and everything, but try talking to your teenagers about it.
That's the hard part. I mean, we can do that because we didn't grow up with it.
True.
It's harder, to tell someone else to do that.
I will say, like, I'll be doing something on my phone and then I'll look up at the TV and it looks blurry.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, what this is doing. I've always had good vision, but I'm wondering what it's doing to my eyes.
Yeah, I have to be careful. I don't know. Usually, like, what I try to do if I'm trying to get my daughter off the phone, I just have to stop whatever I'm doing, even if it's a good thing. Like if I'm actually like washing dishes or something, I will stop and go like entertain her or try to do something just to distract her enough. To at least put that away for a little while.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah, baby wins. That's what we're going for here.
Small victories.
Yes,
That's exactly right. Okay. Well, I feel like we've had a lot of small victories in the weather department recently, just with the rain. Like I told you, I got a little spot shower yesterday. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, we must visit with Jen to see what's happening at SA
I can't talk weather, guys, but I can talk
you could.
SA Live. Okay, let's talk SA Live today. Yeah, so our question, it was a really cool weekend seeing the rookies from the Spurs being welcomed and the barbecue. Good weather. Okay, I'll throw that in there. And so our question today is, which restaurants do you think they should try out? The rookies are here now, and we always love giving the food recommendations, so I thought we'd get everybody involved and hopefully come up with a really nice list. Do you guys have a go-to? I know we don't like singling out restaurants. We have all of our favorites. We love you all, but do y'all have a place that you'd like to recommend for them?
Well, I want to keep it like not so fancy for them. I want them to go somewhere where they'll just be like, the fans will be like, yay! I don't know. I think Chris Madrid's is pretty good with the cheeseburger there. Yeah.
I've said this before. My go-to, and I eat there a lot, is Las Palapas, man.
Yes, sir.
That's right. You are a Las Palapas guy. Yes.
Can't beat those lunch specials.
So I'm just thinking. So Dylan Harper was from Rutgers, right? From New Jersey.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
And Carter Bryant. I'm drawing a blank on where he came from, but nonetheless, I would kind of. Arizona, yeah, thank you. I would lean towards local places that you wouldn't find in those states, and maybe they can get acclimated to Tex-Mex and those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree. All right, well, hopefully we get a nice long list for them.
Yes.
Just scan that QR code and weigh in, and we'll see what the list looks like at the end of the show. And we've got a fun packed show for you guys, so I'll see y'all in a bit.
We look forward to it. Thank you, Jen. I look forward to seeing that list. Maybe they can email it to them.
Well, I think I would utilize that list too, because people are going to come up with some good mom and pop spots that I don't know about, and I would totally check those out.
I love it.
I'm all for it.
I love it.
Yes, and welcome. By the way, welcome to the Spurs. We are very excited. It's going to be a good year.
I know, we're feeling good. We're feeling good about it.
All right, let's go outside for you, and we'll see what's going on outside at the moment. We've got just partly cloudy skies and 79 degrees at the airport, 79 in New Braunfels, 80 in Converse, 77 in Boerne, south-southeasterly winds. Again, we are just basically on repeat here. It seems like things aren't really changing much, which is fine because we continue to have rain chances in the forecast. So let's look at some of the headlines this week. Hot, but not too hot. That's good news. We really did think temperatures were going to get quite a bit hotter. It's not looking that way anymore. So temperatures are going to stay right at about average, maybe even a little bit below. We will get some hazy skies through Wednesday thanks to some Saharan dust, which we've talked about quite a bit. And yes, there is rain in the forecast. Daily, spotty, afternoon downpours. Today through Thursday, I would say, are the 4 days we'll be watching. Okay, Saharan dust. Here's the latest computer model, and it does continue to bring some in this afternoon. I would say lighter concentrations, though. The thicker concentrations are going to be out towards New Orleans and Houston. We'll still notice probably a little bit of a haze, but I just don't think it's going to be a big problem. If we're going to see any sort of thicker concentration, it's probably going to be tomorrow afternoon, and then after that it'll start to subside, and we'll see less in the way of the Saharan dust by Wednesday and certainly going into Thursday. Here's a look at what's going on in the tropics. We got to talk about Barry, which, by the way, it got a name this weekend. I'm not really sure why, because it was really not that strong. It was falling apart, made landfall. Regardless, the remnants of Barry are still around. So that's some of the moisture that will actually, some of it, that'll be feeding up into Texas. And then you got Flossie, which is starting to strengthen here. Winds are at 50 miles per hour. It's looking a little bit better. This is going to move up the west coast of Mexico, and that will bring rain there. and we may even get a little bit of upper-level moisture from that system. As far as the futurecast goes, with some of that moisture surging in, here is a look at what we may expect around 5 o'clock today. And it does show some of these showers, maybe some downpours working their way towards San Antonio. In this case, we'll see showers come up from the south and lift north into the city and then stick around through roughly sunset. And, you know, I think we'll see a similar setup tomorrow, maybe a little less coverage, 20% Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back to 30% chance Thursday. And thereafter, the models are indicating some drier air moving in, which would kind of take away our rain chances, including for the 4th of July. But in that time frame between Monday and Thursday, expect some spotty downpours, brief but heavy. No hail or flooding, though, with that in mind. And that's great. Just garden variety downpours, which we will absolutely take. 85 noontime today, 20% chance for rain. We'll call it hazy. Haven't really seen a ton of that dust again, but it is there. 30% chance of some downpours this afternoon. 92 is your high temperature. Extended forecast. We showed you the rain chances. Temperatures right at about average or maybe a little below the next few days. Now, once we get rid of the rain, the temperatures do try to go up. 94 for Independence Day and upper 90s Saturday and Sunday. Coming up next half hour, we'll take a look back at June since it ends today and talk about how good of a month it was for us rainfall-wise.
What a month.
It was.
Yep.
Kept the temperatures down.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you, sir. And a certain group of Costco members are getting a new perk. After the break, what status you need to have with Costco to take advantage of it?
Welcome back. It's 9:21. Well, Gen Z might actually be making a breakthrough when it comes to the housing market. So how are they doing that?
And some Costco members are getting the luxury of being able to shop in the stores earlier than others. That's all covered in this morning's Money Matters.
So here's a look at that conversation from our GMSA Plus stream with Sybil Marcellus.
Financial services company Intercontinental Exchange reports that Gen Z now accounts for 1 in 4 loans issued to first-time home buyers. Their data group, which is ages 13 to 28, are buying homes earlier than millennials or Gen X did. Remote work is also helping many leave expensive cities behind. Others are getting financial help from parents or skipping college debt altogether. You'll get even more time to buy in bulk if you're a Costco executive member. Starting today, shopping hours will extend for executive level customers. Stores will open 1 hour earlier for these members at 9 a.m. and close 1 hour later on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Plus, there's a host of other exclusive perks and offers. A Costco executive membership will cost you $130 a year, whereas the most popular level, Gold Star membership, is $65. Apple has its first summer blockbuster as Brad Pitt's F1 raced into the top spot at the weekend box office. The big budget Formula One racing drama produced by Apple Original Films and distributed by Warner Brothers Discovery brought in over $55 million in its debut. Universal's How to Train Your Dragon live action movie slid to second after 2 weekends at number 1, and third was Disney's intergalactic Pixar adventure Elio. The AI adventure thriller Megan 2.0 landed at number 4, and Sony's latest zombie survival flick, 28 Years Later, rounded out the top 5.
Again, that was our GMSA Plus stream that you saw there. Well, we have some safety alerts for you this morning. We are following vehicle recalls on our radar. So car makers like Ford, Chrysler, Kia, and Subaru are recalling certain models because they could be dangerous. Some vehicles have issues with the brakes, the airbags, rear cameras, and a lot more. So if you want to know if your car is in this roundup of recalls, you can check out the full story on our website at KSAT.com. We have that full list on this and also other recalls.
Okay, 9:23 now, 79 degrees outside. There's still more ahead here on GMSA at 9.
City leaders want your thoughts on Project Marvel, the billion-dollar plan for a new downtown sports district. Feedback sessions are happening this week and how you can participate. Welcome back. It's 9:27. Well, San Antonio City Council, they are asking themselves what gets cut. It's one of the first topics that the new San Antonio Council has to consider as its members face a ballooning budget deficit.
However, a recent City Council meeting left more questions and answers about what to trim out of the budget. So next year's $21 million deficit is expected to explode to $152 million the year after. And no matter what the city does, whether it raises fees or taxes or holds on to more CPS energy money, the city staff says that cuts of some sort will be needed.
Well, recently, most of the mayor and council's comments were about what they wanted to save in the budget.
Now we're going to look to the staff to help us understand, okay, what does that look like? You heard me say, though, that $150 million gap, even if we cut every library, all of Metro Health, as well as Human Services. Human Services, that still only gets us to 140. Right, so these are significant in terms of the changes in the budget.
Well, city staffers will spend all of July putting together a budget proposal, which they will present in August. It will be the mayor and the council who will have the final say about what stays or goes.
The 89th Texas legislature passed a significant amount of laws, many are taking effect soon, like the Summer Willis Act. It changes Texas law by clearly defining consent in sexual assault cases. It lists specific situations that count as assault, like when force or coercion is used, when someone is unconscious or too intoxicated to consent, or when consent is withdrawn but the act continues. This law closes loopholes that advocates say previously made it hard for survivors to get justice. You may have heard about Project Marvel, the $1 billion plan to construct a new sports and entertainment district downtown. And now city leaders want to hear your thoughts on it. They're going to be hosting feedback sessions on everything about Project Marvel. There are 2 more happening today and tomorrow. They'll bring up topics like housing, transportation, local businesses, and how they will all be affected by the potential change. This weekend, we spoke with some Spurs fans who say they want other people to share their thoughts and concerns and what they want to see out of a new sports and entertainment district.
Downtown has always been probably one of the anchor areas, the river walk, everything is there. So tourists, everything is going to hang out there. So I think consolidating everything under one envelope is good.
So those workshops will kick off this afternoon at 1:30 at the Southside Lions Senior Center and at Morgan's Wonderland. If you can't make it in person, there's an online survey you can fill out.
Let's look out there with live cam this morning. No rain right now, but some people got a little bit of rain yesterday. I didn't get the rain, but I saw the cloud cover, and that was nice for a little bit.
Well, it looked so promising. It was coming in from the coast, and it looked like for the world, all of San Antonio was going to get some rain, and then just kind of fizzled out more or less once it made it into town. But we've got another opportunity coming up today. We'll tell you the pollen count is in, molds are lows. That's good to see. But with rain in the forecast, we may see that tick back up a little bit more. It's been around. And of course, we have the Saharan dust too. So that plays a role in some of your allergy issues. Although, as I said earlier, the dust concentration honestly is pretty low. Visible satellite picture shows we do have some clouds starting to gather there along the coast. Looks like the sea breeze may be getting going here soon. At some point that will surge inland, and we'll have some moisture surging in from South Texas. So all of that contributes to the chance for some showers and downpours today. 20% chance at noontime, but we bring that up to a 30% chance by the afternoon. 92 will be your high, and otherwise we'll see hazy skies and partly cloudy conditions thanks to some of that dust around the area. As promised, we're going to look back at the month of June. What a good month it was. More on that in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. Let's look out there with our Trends Guide cameras. So things are looking good there at Highway 281. Also looking good there at Loop 1604 and Huebner Road. Just some of the normal construction spots to watch out for, but everything else looks great.
As we close out Pride Month today, KSAT Promotions producer David Hurtado sits down with some leaders and influencers in our city who are staying true to themselves and living authentic lives.
So in this final interview in this series, he sits down with Tejano star Shelly Lattes. They discuss her early singing career in the Latin music industry as a gay woman and what it meant to some of her fans when she finally came out.
My final year on the road, I had this family come up to me in West Texas, and it was a mom and a dad and their young daughter. She was probably like 14, and the father comes to me and he's crying, and he hugs me and he's like, I just want to thank you because you have been an amazing role model for my daughter. She came out to us, and and she just, she loves who you are as a person.
Well, Shelly also discusses the strong influence of her mother and how the Latin music industry has changed over the years and has become more open to the LGBTQ+ community. So to watch this full interview, you can go over to our website at KSAT.com.
Well, there's some of the sights and sounds from the Pride Bigger Than Texas parade over the weekend. The parade made its way down North Main, the heart of the Pride Cultural Heritage District. The annual parade is filled with lights, colorful floats, and displays. This was all on Saturday evening and allowed attendees to enjoy the parade without having to fight the heat.
The night is really nice because it's cool, comforting, and it's just the lights are really bright, and it's just a fun environment.
The parade capped off Pride Week, a joint venture by the San Antonio LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce and Pride San Antonio that hosted events all week long.
Or if you're feeling patriotic, Independence Day is this Friday, and many places are celebrating. So fireworks will be popping off in several places from here in the Alamo City to New Braunfels and also Fredericksburg.
And you can get in on the fun with other events like parades, wine tastings, live music, and more. Most events are free, and all of them are open to the public. We've gathered a full list for you on our website. Just go to KSAT.com.
And just a reminder here for everyone that fireworks are not allowed in the city of San Antonio, and only some are allowed in Bexar County. So if you are celebrating outside of that area, though, it is important to stay safe while having fun. And here are some important things to keep in mind.
Make sure you have a water source nearby. There should be a responsible adult in charge of the fireworks. Don't point or shoot fireworks off in the direction of other people. Make sure that you are not in a dry area or near a lot of structures. And remember, breaking any laws could result in some serious punishment. So we're here because we care.
Yes, absolutely. And if you are flying out for the Star Spangled Holiday, the San Antonio International Airport wants to share some top travel tips during this holiday peak season. So there will be an estimated 145,000 travelers going to be flying out in and out of San Antonio. So starting today through next Sunday, July 6th.
First, reserve your parking spot or have a plan on where to park. Then check your flight status with your airline. And note your boarding time on your boarding pass. Lastly, arrive at least 2 hours before boarding for domestic flights and 3 hours ahead of time for international. And safe travels.
Yes.
All right, 9:35 right now, 79 degrees, and still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Yeah, Jurassic Park makes us wonder if scientists should play God by reviving extinct animals. Well, after the break, how one zoo is focusing on saving species before it's too late. Well, here's a question that Jurassic Park makes us think about sometimes. Should scientists find a way to bring extinct animals back to life?
Well, at the San Diego Zoo, a team is taking a different approach, working hard to stop species from disappearing before it's too late. Here's ABC's Danny New.
They extract the preserved blood from the mosquito and, bingo, dino DNA.
Jurassic Park's whole mosquito trapped in amber method for cloning dinosaurs was, of course, a little unrealistic. But for the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, scientists were already onto the cloning animals with preserved DNA idea decades before that movie came out.
The Frozen Zoo is the largest collection of living cell lines and gametes anywhere in the world.
Marlis Hauk here is the curator of the Frozen Zoo, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. There are, of course, many big animals at the San Diego Zoo, but for half a century, the Frozen Zoo has been freezing vials of skin, egg, and sperm cells for more than 1,300 species.
You freeze them to live indefinitely. Do you have to feed them?
Very good question. Once they're frozen, we don't have to feed them.
Here is the man who started it all, Dr. Kurt Benershka, who began banking these samples before cloning technology even existed.
He always said, you must collect things for reasons you don't yet understand.
Well, by keeping the cells of more than 11,000 individual animals alive, the Frozen Zoo has been able to contribute to saving critically endangered animals over the years. In the 1980s, their samples helped take the population of the California condor from around 25 to now more than 500. And a few years ago, their sample from 1988 helped clone the black-footed ferret.
It is a race against time for us because as the population of different animals decline, we don't know which species is going to become more rare and endangered in the future.
Today, as they continue to try and bank more and more samples, the Frozen Zoo's next big mission is to train facilities around the world to do the same thing. That way,
we have scientists all around the globe who can help capture this biodiversity.
And biodiversity is key here, since when you have these frozen samples at your disposal, that means you can bring in more genetic diversity down the line to a dwindling population, all vulnerable to the same things. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Well, before we get to our zoo cam, here's some exciting news. The zoo has welcomed a new giraffe named Kiche, which means laughter in Swahili. So this 14-month-old male joined the herd at the Naylor Savannah habitat, including Waffles and Braden. born at the Dallas Zoo last April Fool's Day. That's my birthday.
It is
April Fool's
indeed.
Day,
That's
yeah.
right. Kiche is part of a conservation program to protect endangered species. Visitors can meet him up close at the giraffe feeding experience or stay overnight at Speckboom Lodge for a unique zoo adventure.
How cute.
Yeah, they have that now where you can spend the night,
Yes.
wake up, and
It's very
in the middle of the giraffe
Very
habitat.
neat.
He's growing so fast.
Yeah, kids. They grow
Wow.
so fast. All right.
I was like, okay, well, here's our camera for Zoo Cam. Now we need Giraffe Cam.
Yeah, we
right?
had Hippo Cam last week.
Yeah, that would
we
be
need
nice.
Giraffe Cam. So nonetheless, birds living their best life this morning.
Yeah.
Do you remember a while back when there was the giraffe that was supposed to give birth and they...
April.
Sure. And she waited and waited and waited. It was yes, it was a whole thing. What was that? That was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was several years ago. And I remember it was around Easter time. But yeah, so.
Anyway, I digress.
Why we need the cameras.
Yes.
So we can see everything.
Yes, indeed. Hey, all right, Steph. Ernie already knows this answer, but
Yes, I won't say anything.
This is just our Just Ask Justin questions morning. I'm about to stump you, okay? You ready?
Oh, no.
Why does July and August, both months, have 31 days? Is it because of lunar cycles? Because it equally honors emperors? It aligns seasonal festivals? Or because of the sun angle? Do you know?
Do I know? No. I was waiting for Ernie to pass me a note.
It's kind of tricky, actually. I went down a rabbit hole yesterday.
Oh, okay. Equally honors emperors?
You're exactly right.
Thanks, Ernie.
Good job. Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
Wow.
So the Roman calendar has many oddities, and while
You're welcome.
initially months were created due to lunar cycles, that was technically abandoned. They still went with the months, but not because it aligned with the lunar cycles. But July was named after Julius Caesar and given 31 days. August was named after Emperor Augustus and initially only had 30 days. But because they wanted to be equals and there was pride involved here, they added a day on to August to make it equally as important as July.
Nice.
Good
Can't make
knowledge,
this
man.
stuff
Learn
up.
something new again.
Yeah.
The Roman calendar, the way they put it all together, it's pretty complicated. But anyway, okay. Speaking of calendars, in June, we look back on June, on the last day of June here, and our warmest day this month was 98. We never hit 100. Coolest day was 68, and we had 7.46 inches of rain. That is a huge number for June, for San Antonio. Of course, a lot of it came in one fell swoop, and sadly, it was not a great day for us here in San Antonio. But we are above average when it comes to rainfall now because of that, and we'll see what July brings to us if we get more rain in the forecast, and it's looking as though we will, at least today. The Futurecast showing that we'll start to see some showers and storms feeding up into San Antonio by 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. Again, not everyone's going to see the rain, but we should see some scattered downpours, and if you do get one of these heavier downpours, you could pick up a quick half-inch of rain. Rain chances will be at 30% today, so a little elevated just based on the latest computer models. A little lower number Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we bring it back up to 30% on Thursday. And then lower chances for Independence Day and going into the weekend. Bottom line here, I'd say 2 to 7 p.m. we have rain chances, but even to be more specific, I'd say between 4 and 7 p.m. we can see some of these downpours. Brief but heavy, however, no hail or flooding. This is just kind of those garden variety tropical downpours that we would see around here today. 79 right now. Temperatures are starting to make their way into the 80s. Feels like it's in the 80s, 82 here in San Antonio is the current heat index with a good south wind no matter where you go across the city. And those winds will continue to be fairly breezy. We end up at 92 this afternoon. You'll find that most places will be in the 90s later today. And then when it comes to the heat index, probably upper 90s in some spots. Heat index is not going to be too out of control today because of that chance for rain. Now, as we go forward, temperatures actually stay at or just below average, which is pretty impressive to start July. Now, by July 4th, we probably jump back up to even with the average or a little bit above, and heat index values will certainly start to increase near 100. But next few days, really not that bad, and it's because we have some clouds and rain in the forecast. Let's talk about Independence Day specifically, and this was my attempt to make it look like Woodlawn Lake. I don't know if I did a good job or not, but you get the idea. 94 at 4 o'clock, 90 at 7 p.m., 82 at 10 p.m., and 78 at 1 a.m. And at this moment, I don't expect rain on July 4th to interrupt any of our firework festivities. So that's the good news. We showed you the temperatures, the rain chances. Do note that as we get into the weekend, it is forecast to heat up, maybe some upper 90s. But, so far, so good. I'm not even going to jinx it. Not going to mention
Don't do it.
What we could be dealing with. So all is well.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Lips are sealed, but not until we take a bite out of this. SA Live once again providing us, which just proving we're on the wrong show again.
They're good.
Jen, you guys
They're good
do
people.
well.
Hey, you said it. You said it. But we're right here. We're neighbors, so you can
That's
always
true.
come
That is
over.
true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So you've got the San Antonio dog there,
Yes.
and then obviously the Chicago style hot dog, and we're
San
all
Antonio
about
right here.
all about the hot dogs. Now that one's got a Chicago San Antonio combo, and we're going to get to that here in a minute. But you guys enjoy. There's plenty where that came from.
Thank you.
Also, guess what's this weekend? National Fried Chicken Day, and because of that, there are some amazing deals to take advantage of. And we've got with us today Chef Nicola Black from Freight Chicken, also Chef Felix, also the Jerk Shack. Okay, representing both today. What did you bring today, Chef? Welcome.
So we brought some of our amazing fried chicken from both the Jerk Shack and Freight Fried Chicken. We're running a special for National Fried Chicken Day, and people can get both of these meals for $10.
That is a great deal. I want to talk about the recipe. I know you guys put a lot of love into this recipe.
Yes.
Tell me about what goes into the recipe for this chicken.
So our recipe is very unique. We use a dry batter recipe, and what that means is it comes from the brine or the marinade, and it goes right into our spice flour and fried. And so at Jerk Shack, there's no dairy, but there is gluten. At Freight, it's gluten-free and dairy-free.
Got it. And Chef Felix, I noticed there's also these sodas. Where do those come from?
Those sodas are actually imported from Jamaica. We get them from the restaurant. They're honestly it's really popular. The ting, that will be the green one, the grapefruit. It's kind of like a Jamaican version of Squirt. It's really good. It's one of my favorite. Yeah. And then you have the pineapple soda, which is also really refreshing. And then the cola champagne is a super unique soda that's really unique in flavor. Has like a nice, real bubbly taste to it. It's really good. It's really popular at the restaurant as well.
Pairs nicely.
Yeah, it really does. Pairs nicely with the jerk chicken if you definitely get the jerk chicken as well.
And speaking of the jerk chicken, let's talk about the deal only Sunday, right?
Yes.
At the Jerk Shack.
Yes,
So we want to
yes.
clarify for our viewers, right? So Sunday only, and there's a reason.
We serve a lot, yes it can, and we serve a lot of jerk chicken, and we just want to give our customers the very best service. So we're running it just that Sunday, and they can come in and try out either Jerk Shack or Freight's. But
Okay, and Freight is all weekend.
Freight is all weekend. We're located at the food hall inside of Pearl, and just come on by and see us.
Okay, perfect. And all year long they can go visit. What are your hours?
So we're open 7 days a week at both restaurants. On Sundays at Jerk Shack, we close at 4 for family time. But at Freight, we're open 11 to 9 every day.
Perfect. And they can follow you guys on social media?
Yes, follow
as
us
well?
on social media. Come check out our new location of Freight next year at the airport.
At the airport. More to come.
Yeah.
You just keep soaring. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys. I know I tried my little cheesy joke. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Take advantage of the deal. And we've got more deals for you on the show. We're all about the Chicago style hot dog today. We got 2 local spots representing, and Jimmy's with me now from Wrigleyville Grill. Tell me, what makes it a Chicago dog?
So, Chicago dog it's got to be a Vienna beef hot dog with mustard, onions, tomatoes, relish, pickle spear, and sport peppers on a poppy seeded bun. And they are the best because they've been around for over 130 years. These things were invented at the Columbia Exposition Fair in Chicago in 1893. And all the flavors from all the condiments just make an explosion in your mouth, and it just tastes delicious.
It's got my attention. I've never tried one, y'all. So today it's happening. It's happening. And we also have got Chicago hot dogs on the show. We're walking over here. Okay, what do you love, Amato? Tell me about Chicago style hot dogs.
Okay, I love a Chicago hot dog because all the 7 ingredients will make one unique flavor. And it's just the explosion of flavors in your mouth. Don't be afraid of ordering it because it has a lot of different things on there. It really makes one unique flavor that you probably never experienced before.
And we're going to try that today.
We're going to try that today, yes.
And they've got a deal. They've got a deal. And our question of the day is, we got a lot of local places on today. What's your go-to local spot for our new Spurs? Okay, because we want to help build a list for our new rookies. And we also have WWE's Ray Phoenix on the show, representing luchador culture. And we'll tell you about the big show coming up there. And some 4th of July looks if you're wanting to look your best for the barbecue. Also, some delicious sweets from Cakes by Felicia. It is a jam-packed show, and I'm excited to be here with you all today. Stay tuned. Lots to come up.
Formula One is a team sport. It always was.
F1, the movie, raced into theaters this weekend, clinching the top of the podium at the box office with more than $55 million in winnings. The movie, which is directed by Top Gun Maverick's Joseph Kosinski, stars Brad Pitt as a retired race car driver coming back to the world of Formula One.
What are you going to do about it?
Probably something stupid. All that burning rubber left the previous box office champ, How to Train Your Dragon, in the dust, raking in $19.4 million in its 3rd week of release.
You okay? I'm trying to get abducted by aliens.
Disney Pixar's Elio came in at number 3, with the animated family film raking in $10.7 million. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
And you may know him from Full Metal Jacket, Men in Black, Law & Order, or more recently, the Daredevil series. And today, Vincent D'Onofrio is celebrating a birthday. He's 66. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Well, a floral dress that Princess Diana wore to visit children in hospitals sold at auction for more than $500,000. So Jillian's auction sold off dozens of items from the late Princess Diana's wardrobe last week in Beverly Hills.
Items included a ski suit and a Dior handbag given to her by France's First Lady, which went for $325,000. But the floral dress went for $520,000. The auction house described the sale as the largest collection of the royals' fashion ever to go under the hammer. All right, well, how about this? A TikTok video gaining popularity after a woman packed hundreds of H-E-B butter tortillas in her carry-on. H-E-B saw it and the PR wheels began to spin. They turned it into something bigger.
Yeah, this was at the San Antonio International Airport, and the grocery chain surprised travelers who were heading to tortilla-less cities. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Handing out 5,000 warm butter tortillas right at the departure gate.
Can you imagine all those passengers walking onto the plane and the plane smells like a
like fresh tortillas?
Like a tortilla factory.
There's nothing that smells better. And I can eat tortillas all day. I know they're not necessarily good for you, but
they're delicious.
I know.
Yeah, they are.
And they're filling. And so they were talking about tortilla-less cities, and we were trying to think of where is that, but it's probably like just tortillas that don't taste as good as the ones.
Or H-E-B less cities, we were thinking.
Yeah. Yes.
But I mean, I'm not trying to throw cities under the bus, but it's more like Seattle.
Yeah.
Sure.
They might not have a big tortilla selection up there. I don't know.
Their coffee is their thing only.
Exactly.
Pacific Northwest.
What did our producer Hardy find in Antarctica?
Yeah. Well,
Might not happen.
he asked ChatGPT or AI and came up with a couple of ideas, but nonetheless.
We have them here.
Yeah, we're biased, but we love them.
Yeah, looking out there with TransGuide, I didn't see any problems except for the normal construction, but looking there at Loop 1604 at Hardy Oak Boulevard, things are moving right now.
True story, by the way. My sister and brother-in-law live in Virginia, and they will pack a few dozen H-E-B tortillas and take them back with them to the Northeast when they go home.
But not a whole suitcase.
Not a whole suitcase, just a partial suitcase.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. And H-E-B does good with them.
Yes, they do.
All right, 30% chance of some rain today. Grab an umbrella if you're heading out the door right now, if you plan to be out this evening, just in case. And you may just want to keep it in the car, at least for the first half of this week, with some rain chances sticking around.
All right, well, at least we have those chances.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, we'll turn it over. I mean, this could be a new world record for food in a 60-minute show. I don't know. Jen, God bless her. SA Live starts right now.
Celebrating San Antonio with the city's #1 lifestyle and variety show. This is SA Live.
We just drafted Dylan Harper.
Boom,
How are you feeling?
boom, boom, boom. The Spurs are looking really good.
Yeah.
And Wemby ain't going nowhere. That dude right there is Man,
Yeah, we're
here's
excited.
Giannis mixed with KD,
Yes.
mixed with Jesus. Hallelujah!
We had two